Hey guys, and welcome to this edition of the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. Not only is it a little bit late, but it's going to sound really, really odd. This is the part where me and Shane usually break down the episode, talk about our week and things like that, but I'm recording at a very different part of the week where Shane's at work. I've just got back from Ireland, which is why the episode is a little bit late. So my dad became really poorly, and on I'm gonna say Saturday night at 9 o'clock, it was decided that I was gonna go over to Ireland and spend time with my family, go and see my dad because he was poorly in hospital, and by 8 o'clock the next morning, I was on a ferry on the way to Ireland. A bit shell shocked. And I was there for 3 nights. And I was on the ferry. I took a microphone with me because I'm a workaholic, and I knew I'd be on the buses and on ferries to things for many hours. And there were opportunities where I could sit and record monologues and things. I had the episode already edited, and I I remember setting up my microphone, and I was chatting to some guy next to me about where he was going and blah blah blah. I leaned into him. I was like, I'm going to do some recording now. It's going to get super awkward. So then I lean into the microphone. I press record, and I go, and welcome to this week's edition of the I turned the thing off, unscrewed my stand, put it in the bag. I was like, no, that's super embarrassing. There's just people all around the lounge just looking at me as I leaned in to do that. I wasn't in the right state of mind, to be honest. But anyway, this is a great episode to bring to you. It's a bumper episode, two different things. The first half, you're going to hear some quite quiet audio with me, Amanda, and Helen from the Flower Show. The guys from the Flower Show have been quite supportive, and I'm going to be supportive of them. So, so how these things work. I went to their HQ, which is in the quarry, the nice thatched house. That's up by the Blue Gates. We had a really good chat. We didn't have an awful lot of time to set up the full, studio shebang, So I took the Tascam, set it in the middle of the room, and we sat and we had a chat. You may need to turn your audio up, just your volume just a little bit up, to catch up. It's a really good interview. We talk about what people have got to look forward to with the Flower Show, a little bit of history about it, and how it compares to last year. I found it fascinating. I learned a lot. So hopefully you do too. And for the next part of the show, you're going to have to turn your volume down as opposed to turn it up, because I'm at the CAMRA Beer Festival at St. Mary's. I want to say thank you to Norrie Porter for inviting me to the CAMRA Beer Festival. It was a really good night. I got to apologise. First of all, the audio sounds great because I've got lots. There was like 300. There were like 300 people in St. Mary's, hustle and bustle. Whilst I'm doing the interview, and you can hear me and Norrie clearly over the hustle and bustle, and it's quite a nice bit of audio. I quite like atmospheric sounds. I think it sounds really cool. So that's why you have to turn it up, because it's quite loud. Turn it down, sorry. Don't turn it up, turn it down. I want to say thank you to Norrie, because he invited me. I got there, we did the audio, the interview, and he was like, okay, like, you don't pay entry, here's a free glass, and here is a gold band to wear. And I was like, ooh, what's a gold band? And he's like, oh, you don't pay for drinks. No, you get drinks for free. That's how he sounds. You'll hear later in the episode. And that's what happened. And I want to apologise to everyone I spoke to that didn't make it into the episode. It is not your fault at all. It's definitely mine. See, when I interview people, I try and keep like a certain level of calmness about me, because I can be quite a loud chap. And the first interview I did with somebody that grabbed me to speak to me was great, and then the second couple, the last two, sorry, I'd had a bit too much to drink, and now I didn't get sloshed. I don't get stupid drunk like when I'm out wearing a Shrewsbury Biscuit t-shirt. But I did get to the point. I did get to the point where I couldn't control the volume of my voice, so I was kind of shouting down the microphone. I didn't like that. So that won't. The last 2 interviews I did won't be included on this episode, but the one I did with Jerry will be. That'll kind of make sense as you go through it. And can I just say thank you to everybody that's been so supportive of the Biscuit at the moment. Being involved with the Flower Show, with Phil Gillam, the Beatles weekend, with the CAMRA Beer Festival. I'm looking at my board now, and I've got like 3 interviews already planned for this month. Extinction Rebellion are coming around at the weekend. Then I'm going to see Sarah Hopper at the Verntel B&B, and then Wednesday I'm going to speak to Joe from the Folk Festival. And then that weekend I'll be doing the Flower Show. We're going to be there, walking around with our Shrewsbury Biscuit t-shirts and microphones and stuff. And it's such a huge opportunity. And, so thank you for everybody for entrusting us with that. And hopefully things get bigger and better. And I'm being beaten up with an inflatable Spider-Man by my child now. I'm going to have to leave you, and thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you really enjoy it. Make sure you share it with your friends. Tell people about us, because we're growing every week, and it's because of you guys and you telling people how great we are. We should be back to normal next week. You'll probably hear off Shane, I hope you guys have a smashing week. And a quick message before we go into the episode: get well, Dad. Do what the doctors tell you, and make sure you rest. Otherwise, I'll come down on you like a ton of bricks. That's what he used to tell me when I was a kid. Yeah. Do as you're told. Listen to the doctors. And get well soon. Guys, much love to you all, and enjoy the episode. Peace out. So thank you very much for joining me on the Shrewsbury Biscuit. I'm Alex, and today I've come to talk to you about the Flower Show, this year's Flower Show, which I'm going to get onto a bit later on, because I want to explain my first experience with the Flower Show. But first of all, can I just get like an introduction to who you are and what you're doing with the Flower Show this year?
Okay, my name's Amanda Jones, and I'm a member of the General Committee and Executive Committee. I'm also chair of the marketing subcommittee, and I'm on the arena subcommittee. As you can see, there are lots of different committees that are formed together to then bring the show, to put the show on.
It's quite a driving force. There's a lot of people involved with what's going on. I'll put this question for later on. How long does it take to plan something of this size?
Well, it's year round. Yeah. As soon as one show finishes, you start prepping for the next. You might be prepping for 2 years in advance. It's a continual process.
Seems to be lots of working parts. How many people are involved with planning this?
There's 42 on the committee.
That's 42 on the committee.
And then we've got 42 on the committee, and then we've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 staff in the office. 5, 6.
Do you get lots of volunteers offering their services to help you? Let's be a part of the show.
On the show days, we have volunteers who are stewards, and they enjoy doing that. When we have people on the gates, so it takes a lot of people to put this together and to put it on. And so there's a briefing a few nights before the actual show, when everyone comes together and sort of does health and safety and make sure everyone's on the same page. They've got all the information they need for the actual 2 days of the show. It's
crazy how big it is, and last year it took me by surprise. So this time last year I was kind of thinking about the Shrewsbury Biscuit. I hadn't quite put it all together yet, and the idea was always just to do what I'm doing now, is to illustrate all the great things about the town and what goes on around here. And I live just in Bellevue, and it's a kind of religious sort of like every Thursday or Friday I take my little boy for a walk down the river to the quarry, to the park. And the one day I walked in and there was just
lorries driving up and down. There was gates being put up. There was these big white tents, as I can see now. There's just crazy people's caravans everywhere. And I was just like, "Whoa, what's this?" You know, it was like Jack Skellington in Nightmare Before Christmas. What's this? You know, and it really is quite big. Like, how long has this been going for? Like, I don't want to like give you, you don't have to give me precise dates, but
well, we understand.
We can.
Yeah, we understand the first show of this type actually took place in 1875.
Wow.
This year is the 132nd show. There were a few years where it didn't happen due to the war, understandably, but it's the world's longest running flower show that's held in the same place, I understand.
I'm just looking, there's a giant poster in the room here, and there's little snippets of posters from all over the year. Is that all just 1914?
That's all just 1914.
It's a really long poster, that's crazy. 1914. Wow.
But if you actually look at it, a lot of what is on there is what we still do today.
Still the same.
You know, so we have got very deep traditional roots.
And the variety of things.
The way I understand it is plants aren't like technology. They don't you don't get a brand new version like you do with an iPhone every year, or there's no like Bluetooth added to a phone or a plant or something. So plants are plants, and people have always enjoyed them, I guess, you know. So, and the fact that you guys keep creating such a buzz every year, it shows that people are really interested in it, you know. How many people do you have attend usually, on average? I'm not going to be like...
Oh, I think over the course of the 2 days it kind of ranges around about 30,000?
35, I think.
35,000 people.
So the show's open from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, so you see people come and go during the course of the day. Some people just want to come for the morning maybe, or the afternoon, or for the daytime, and then you'll see a different crowd of people maybe coming in for the evening.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and attend. I'm definitely attending all day on a Friday. I'm going to take my microphone around and speak to people, and I think maybe next year I'd love to like just set up in one of the tents, like properly set up. That'd be really cool. You know, Shrewsbury Biscuit from the Flower Show.
I'm sure we'd welcome you.
I would love to do that. I mean, we could have done that this year, but it's been so crazy the last few weeks. I've been trying to run everything. It's been nuts. But now we've got more sort of notice. We can definitely put stuff together. What have you been doing this for a while then? Have you?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I have been on the committee, I think, since about about 10 years.
Wow. And in those 10 years, do you remember any sort of highlights when you think of like the flower show and the best things that have happened? Are there any things that kind of?
I think one of the biggest buzzes in the 10 years that I've been doing this was actually when the Red Arrows came over.
Yeah.
Because they then tweeted a photograph, and that evening, I was having an email exchange with the Red Arrows to get hold of that image so that we could use it ourselves as well, and that was just great.
That's fantastic. You know, like I said, I live in Bellevue, and I could last year I just remember it. I could hear the music, I could hear the cheering, and I was just like, this is a flower show. This is a flower show. It's evolved
into...
It's crazy good.
The evening entertainment has evolved over the years. We sort of started, again, perhaps 10, 12 years ago with...
It was about 2012.
Oh no, because they had Catherine Jenkins, didn't they?
She didn't play at night though.
Right, but Bellowhead?
They were the first ones.
Right, so
yeah.
Or the Oyster Band. I think the Oyster Band was the first band. And so the evening has now developed into sort of some live music.
Well, there's, throughout history, music has been linked to like flowers and the moods of music and things like that, so it's really good.
Absolutely. Well, if you look at the old posters, the music is there.
These posters are brilliant, by the way. They're really good. Might get a picture of one of them if I can for my social media, because I think people really appreciate that.
Somewhere we've got that that I can email over to you, because in 2014 that was our sort of guide as to what we were going to do with the show. So we actually had a show based on 1914 in 2014. So I have got that, so I will send that over to you.
That'd be brilliant, and we'll put that on our social media, let people get a feel for what 1914 was like, and obviously the memorial year for that.
This is one of the shows that didn't take place because war was declared literally a few weeks before, so they'd got it all planned and then had to cancel it because of the war. So that's why that one is particularly
important,
special.
So here's what you could have had. Yeah. So there's lots of people come to this. You said 30,000 people. There seems to be a lot of, like I said last year, lots of trucks and cars and things coming past, and it seems like crazy. So there's lots of people that partake, like the vendors, the people that come and make their gardens here.
Absolutely, there's all sorts of different types of people, from trade stands to catering outlets. Then we've got stage and sound people involved. There's a big mix, and as a result there's lots of caravans and things dotted along the
I was walking around last week with my little boy and went to the park, and he was amazed by the cherry pickers. That's how we learned what a cherry picker was, because there's just cherry pickers everywhere, putting wiring up and stuff. But where, like, I bet people come from far and wide to come take part in this. Yeah, so
visitors to the show come from across the country. We have people coming internationally, specifically to the flower show. We have people who come and then book next year's accommodation whilst they're here, so that they know they've got somewhere to stay. Then we have traders that as well. We have a trader from Hungary.
Wow, that's crazy. So they come all this way. I mean, it's a prestigious event, this. I mean, I'd never seen a flower show like it. So it's really good that we've got it in such a beautiful town as well. So not only have you got this amazing flower show, but if you were going to come from far and wide, there's so much to see in the town as well. You know?
Absolutely, and that's the show is for the town as well. People can come and go from the show. They can go into town. They can go to a restaurant or a bar, cafe, go shopping. Yeah. It's good for the town as well.
It really is. And you know, we've got listeners from around Europe. Most of Europe listen to this show, so I'd like to encourage anybody that does listen to the show, if you're listening in Germany or France or something like that, pop over the next year, you know, if you're not here already. Check it out, because it really is, especially with the weather we're having at the moment. Hopefully it stays.
Yeah, let's hope it stays like that.
We've got, a week now, so hopefully it stays the same.
Weeks.
It's a couple of weeks. See, this is what happens when I'm running so much going on in my head at the moment. I forget which week I'm on.
We hope we got another week.
I wish we had another 4.
So don't say that, Alex.
I wish we'd got another 4, but...
Yeah. So how's the planning preparation going at the moment? Everything going to plan?
I'll let Helen answer that one.
Yes, everything is running very smoothly so far. The guys that put the marquees up have done a great job. They've got them up very, very quickly this year. So in fact, I would imagine that we are a little ahead of previous years. So that means that the contractors can now get into the marquees and actually start bringing all the interior construction together. Because what people don't realise is the fact that everything has to be built every year and then taken down every year and then built again the following year. So it's a big job for the construction team, but with the marquees going up so early, we can get in there and get on with it.
So I'm looking now, there's like proper like glass conservatories and things.
That is our information point. This is where from now people can come and buy their tickets or membership or find out about the flower show. So that's the information point, and on show days that is the hub of all the information that goes out and all the communications that go out and anything like that. That's where it happens.
I mean, I hate flat packing. That's a hell of a flat pack.
It's amazing. These guys are so talented. The speed in which they can now put these structures together. It's literally you sort of 1 in the morning. It's just a shell. By the following evening, it's completely built.
It's fantastic. And we had that amazing storm the other night. Did that hold anything back because it was just chaos?
No, it was quite useful because there was quite a few people taking shelter under our marquees because they got caught short in them.
So while you're in here, guys, pick up something and work.
Yeah.
Well, it's really nice to see, is it? I mean, at first, last year, I was like, what is all this? Why is this all in the way? What's that? Why is this going here? But now I appreciate it. Now I
understand it. Yeah.
And this is what my journey has been in Shrewsbury. I mean, I've been here since 2017 and I've never heard of the flower show. So now I'm learning about it. I'm like, ooh, actually, that's really, really good. So what can people expect? This is what I was going to ask first. Let's do it properly, Alex. How is this show going to compare to last year's show?
Well, hopefully the weather's going to be better. After a beautiful summer last year, it rained on the 2 days of the flower show. But yeah, so apart from the weather, we have different live music every year. So
Who was it that headlined last time?
Last year we had an ABBA reunion band on the Friday night, and on Saturday night, we had the Red Hot Chili Pipers.
I should know that. Yes.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
This year we have Gary Mullen and the Works, a Queen tribute band, on Friday night.
Wow.
And on Saturday night we've got Scouting for Girls.
I love Scouting for Girls, by the way. When you said that on the email, that Scouting for Girls, I was like, yeah, I've been playing it around the house. My little boy's been bopping around in the kitchen to that, so I'll definitely be here for that. I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be here all day.
That's Saturday night, the Scouting for Girls.
Yeah, I'll be here. And it's great. So not just apart from the live music, what are people going to be seeing this year? What do you expect to see?
Well, there'll be all the floral displays in the Quarry Marquee. Then we've got the professional and amateur displays in Severn and Dingle, which is sort of from flower displays and vegetables, all sorts of different things.
Sort of competitive.
Yeah.
Biggest marrow.
Traditional.
I imagine it being like a garden version of British Bake Off, They're kind of putting their displays together and, you've dropped the tulips on the floor, it's not going to go, Yeah. So how competitive can it get?
Very.
Yeah?
Very, very, very. The Begonia Society always hold their annual show, and those guys are almost like professional amateurs, and they take it very seriously, and we have people from the whole of the UK coming to take part in the begonia side of it. With the amateur veg and things like that, again, people will do it religiously. I've got a couple of exhibitors that have entered 30, 40, 50 items because they've been growing them constantly, and they bring everything. So it's and you can win quite a lot of prize money if you're successful.
So there's a competition here
And
as well.
it's nice. There are classes for children.
Yes.
Oh, that's brilliant. Because I spoke to Claire from Lovely Land, from Castlefields, and she's got a group that encourage kids to get out there and grow and do things like that. So what have you got going on for the kids here?
Well, we have lots of children's activities.
Yeah.
Helen.
We've got Spin Sonic, who are doing things like carnival kind of thing, fair kind of thing, activities like that. Children can learn how to stilt walk. We've got baby dragons walking around.
Not real ones.
No, not real. Yeah, we've got Mr. Boom. There would be no flower show without Mr. Boom, who has been here for at least 30 years, and he entertains. And we've got sort of second, third generation families coming through who can remember Mr. Boom when he first started.
Who's Mr. Boom? I thought you said Mr. Bloom.
No, Mr. Boom.
Mr. Boom.
Mr. Boom.
Oh.
And all the activities in the children's area are completely free. So not only can children get in free of charge, they can also take part of all the activities free of charge.
Planting.
Yeah, we've got planting with the celebrity gardener and one of our judges, and they always do that, so children can have hands-on experience and learning how to grow things, which is great, and which is what we're all about, promoting horticulture and education.
Really good. So this is going to go on Monday. So if you're listening to this and you're looking for something because the kids are driving you crazy, it's 2-3 weeks into the summer holidays, get them out here.
And we've got the Imps motorcycle display team in the main arena, so that's always a good one for the kids. They like that, as well as dogs and ducks, and
we've got Marion Owen and his quack pack.
The quack pack. Sounds great. There's so much going on. Takes a lot of coordination though, I guess. Has everybody got their own sort of space where to be, or
yes,
time slots and
definitely.
things like that?
There's a programme order, so everything has to be considered.
If you've got some sort of programme that you can share with me for our social media.
Well, we have an app.
You do have an app. That's a perfect thing to bring up on the podcast.
People download the app. It's free. They can then see the map. They can see everything that's going on. They can find out more about the show.
Brilliant. Well, check out the what's it called? Just a
It's just Shrewsbury Flower Show, and just search on your app store.
Brilliant. I'm going to do that. It'll be very helpful for me. Make sure you download the app. You'll get to know everything that's going on. What are you guys looking forward to the most? Are you going to get much time to have a walk around and enjoy
Sleep.
it? Sleep.
We have top quality show jumping. I always like the show jumping. I am looking forward to scouting for girls. We have John Terode back with us again as a celebrity chef, and David Dominey is our celebrity gardener. So we've got some good names, and it's going to be a good show.
I'm really excited. I'm genuinely really excited. I didn't think, when I was younger, I didn't think I'd ever be excited for a flower show. This is no dig at you guys.
You're getting older.
Yeah, and do you know, I took part in the Bellevue Arts Festival. They did like an open garden thing, and we had a conversation with a young girl, and we were like, "What's the point when you really start appreciating your garden in life?" And it's when you get the weekend to spend in the garden and you plant something and you appreciate it, when you're not running around chasing the kids and things like that. I think I just recently grew a lawn. I planted my lawn and I'm so proud of it, so I can appreciate when, you put months and months of hard work into putting these gardens and these vegetables together, and you want people to see what you've done. So, especially if there's prize money involved. Yeah. So when does this start then, the flower show? I mean, I know, but let's let the listeners know.
Friday, the 9th of August, and on Saturday, the 10th of August.
Saturday, the 10th of August.
The show opens to the public at 10 o'clock in the morning, and there's something going on all day long, whether it's something in the arena that people might enjoy, or go to the food hall, go to the lecture marquee. There's all sorts of things to do, and at the end of each day, there's a fantastic firework display.
I remember that last year. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. I don't know if my little boy is. He's got a bit of a phobia of fireworks. I have to bring some ear defenders. But that's fantastic. That's brilliant. And what would you say? I mean, the app would cover everything, wouldn't it? I was going to ask you about times for sort of certain events that are taking part. I guess the app would cover that.
I can answer though, because I can get the app.
Let's get the app up. Let's put it to the test. So the biggest events, the sort of headline of acts, the ones that people rush to.
Fireworks. Everyone wants to know what time the fireworks start, and that's 10:15 officially. They a few go off during the course of the 1812 overture, sort of a little bit earlier on, but the main display starts at 10:15 and finishes by about 10.
Is that on Friday and Saturday?
Both nights.
Both nights, fantastic.
Did you want some key?
Yeah, some of the things that you would definitely recommend for people to go and look at. Go and have a look at it all. But if there was a handful of events during that festival, what would you suggest people to go and look at?
I'd send people down to the Severn in Dingle, get inspired, to see what people can grow
do.
And what you can actually turn your hand to yourself with a little bag of seeds from
and not much space.
And not much space. There's some amazing things, and there's a lot of knowledge down there. There's a lot of societies in there, so if you have got any queries about, your roses or why your carrots haven't done very well, the guys down there will be able to answer all your questions.
We walk through Dingle quite a lot, me and my little boy. We love that.
Well, for us, Dingle is actually the name of a marquee as well.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so we were in the Dingle. Is where we get all
just
the
on the other
floral
side
art.
of the Dingle.
Right,
where Dingle marquee is.
It's confusing. But there is a marquee called the Dingle with all the floral arts.
Right, so make sure you go and check out the Severn in Dingle.
Severn and Dingle.
Definitely. Lots and lots of different marquees with lots of different things in. For the arena, we have actually a local with Perry Riding for the Disabled are doing a vaulting display, which should be quite interesting to watch. That's at 12:10.
Wow.
On Friday. 1:30 on Saturday. It's repeated later on in the day. But the app really does give
check
all
the app, guys. There's lots.
I could just
to go
sit here
on
and
there.
read it off, but just get the app.
It all sounds really good. You got bike displays, you got bands playing, it sounds really, really good. So where can people find it? Apart from the app, are you guys on Facebook, Instagram?
We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we've got a great website, and we're on Instagram as well.
Oh, fantastic. And I'm going to finish with this question that I always ask all my guests that come on the show. I'll ask you both separately. What does Shrewsbury mean to you?
Well, to me, I think it's a wonderful place to live. I think we're very, very lucky. We have a high street that's packed full of independent shops, amazing little cafes. We're not like the average high street. It's a special little gem, and yeah, very lucky to live here.
Fantastic. Helen?
I'm not originally from here,
Yeah, me
so
either.
for me,
Imagine, neither am I.
coming here, what strikes you the most is how friendly people are. You will walk past them in the morning and they will say good morning to you, and there's always someone who's there who is, you know, really helpful, will lend a hand. If you're in a bit of a jam, someone's always there that can say, oh, I know someone, or I know someone, or so it's a beautiful county, because there is a lot of people that have been here for a long time and know everything, and you know, they're your go-to people. But for me, the most, not only is it beautiful, but it is incredibly friendly, lovely people.
Brilliant, I really like that. And you know, your answer echoes a lot of what I hear about both of you actually. You know, it's a great place to live, the independent business is always friendly. And I do these, and one day I'm going to compile them all together and we'll have this big list of what people have said. Look, thank you so much. I'm not going to keep you for too long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this together with the things I'm going to get from CAMRA tonight. We're going to have a bumper show on Monday of everything, flower show and CAMRA, and then what I want to do is everything I get from the weekend, I'm going to do a follow-up show. You know, what our experiences at the flower show.
Great.
And we'll get this out on the show, which of course will be listened to throughout the world. So
Fantastic.
Guys, make sure, what's that, sorry?
No, I was just going to say if Amanda can put it out on Facebook that there is going to be.
Yes, definitely. If you can give me, I just need, how do people find it?
The Shrewsbury Biscuit. Well, what I'll do is when this is released, I'll send you a link to the actual show, but this episode I will send you a link, and the link takes you to an app. You can listen to our show on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Google Music.
Send me the links.
I'll send you the link. And we missed out the opportunity, actually. Is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out? Anybody, any big sort of names, people that have been particularly helpful? You know, apart from yourselves, that are obviously heroes of the...
I have to say that all the volunteers...
It would be hard to make a special...
It is hard to single because then you get like Jeff, be like, oh, you forgot me.
Yeah, I mean, everybody works really hard.
The committee give their time for free, the volunteers give their time for free, and without those...
We don't even get free tickets.
No?
We have to pay still to come to the show.
That's fine. That was going to be my next... Well, I was going to say, can I get a press pass? But obviously not.
You can have a press pass.
But guys, make sure you check out the Flower Show. It's one of the biggest shows in Shrewsbury. And people come from all over the country to check it out. If you this is going to go out like a good 2 weeks before the show. You've still got time to book some time off work, grab a ticket and come up, because it's going to be spectacular.
You can get advance tickets until 10 o'clock on the Thursday night before.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can pay on the gate, but it's cheaper to get advance tickets.
I will share links to the app. I'll share links to where you can buy tickets as well. So make sure you check it out. And thank you very much for joining me. And I'll be at the show as well. I'll be wearing my big, massive Shrewsbury Biscuit t-shirt. So if you want to come and speak to me about the flower show and you see me walking around the festival, make sure you grab me or Shane, and we'll speak to you. So thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It'll be very good.
So that was the guys from the flower show. Thank you so much for arranging that interview. It's really cool to speak to you guys, and I'm really looking forward to representing the Biscuit at the flower show and the flower show with the Biscuit. I'm really excited. It's a high caliber show, and I'm talking about the flower show, not the Biscuit. Anyway, this is going to be Norrie Porter coming up now, talking about CAMRA Beer Festival and their intentions. They're doing some great things. Obviously, they were selling their window beers to try and raise money for the new stained glass window that idiot broke at St. Mary's. So just an advisory, if you're listening in big headphones now, make sure just turn your volume down just a little bit, because this one's going to come a lot louder than the last interview. I hope you enjoy it. I'm not going to babble on for too long. Enjoy. Peace out.
So We're in St Mary's Church now at the CAMRA Beer Festival. I was just saying, I've never actually been in this church before. It's quite spectacular, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but there are so many people who live in Shrewsbury who have not been in here that was one of our aims for the festival, was to bring people in from the local area, give them a chance to look at it, and perhaps they'll come back, they might work with the church, volunteer as guides, all those sorts.
I very nearly did something here. We covered the Darwin Festival.
Oh yeah.
And we very nearly did. I was going to organise a live conference call with someone in America, and it was too soon. We never got it going, but that would have been really cool. So Norrie, I'm speaking to right now, is one of the guys working for. Are you one of the planners of the CAMRA Beer Festival?
Yes, yeah. I chair the working party that sets it up, but there's another guy called Dave Rickett who works for Tanners, who are also one of our sponsors, and he's the festival organiser. He's the person who's in charge of all the arrangements. I just make sure that everybody gets a chance to put in their 2 pence worth about it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite big. I mean, like, I've just been stood at the bar. Norrie's got me a nice beer of Widow. Is it Widow? It's called Window or Widow. I thought, that would be a different drink, I imagine, if it's called the Widow. And there's this huge bar. How many taps have you got on that bar? Do you know?
There are 64 on the main bar, plus another 6 on the sponsors bar.
And it's all locally, not locally, but national source beer.
They're all British beers. Yeah. We don't have any from abroad at this particular festival. They come from everywhere in England and some places in Scotland, and we've got a lot of Welsh beers this year.
That's really good. I'm a big fan of like beer. I worked out I can't drink and do this. I nearly sloshed my microphone with beer. I worked out that there are so many different beers, different tastes. I started speaking to Matt Hocking from Chef Sophie.
Yeah.
He's got a beer tasting
qualifications, a sommelier, beer sommelier.
Yeah, and my co-host for my other show is actually from Vermont, which is New England.
Yes.
And New England have got a bit of a revolution going on there with their New English beers and things like that. So I'm always trying different things. And there's a company called Beer 52. And Beer 52, it's a bit like a subscription service where they send you like a box of beer out every month. I really want to try some of them because I like trying different beers. And what a great setting to do this. I mean, I know this is going to go out after the festival's ended, but let's explain what CAMRA is.
Okay. The campaign for Real Ale was founded in the early 70s when it looked like the big brewers companies were going to take over the entire brewing industry and push out the traditional British way of keeping beer where it's matured in the pub cellar, pulled through so that it's not too gassy, and enjoyed by millions. So CAMRA said, right, well, let's argue against that. Not argue against the beers, but argue against the loss of a traditional English brewing and pub keeping method. So from 1971 onwards, they did that, and we've now got 191,000 members doing our campaigning work out in the out across the countries of the UK, because there are branches in every country, and we seem to have won for the moment the idea that good beer is going to be kept in pubs. But we're losing pubs, so we are now fighting to support and save pubs, and the money, the surplus that we raise here, that will go towards campaigning to save pubs and support pubs.
And you couldn't be doing this at a better time, really, because there's a bit of a it's a bit of a trend, isn't there, with lots of like local IPAs, strange beers that people have never tasted before. There seems to be lots going on at the moment. It seems to be like, if you mention that you like IPA on social media at the moment, you're almost a bit of a, I wouldn't say you're a bit of a Burke, but it's kind of like, oh, he likes an IPA, does he? You know, he's honest, but I genuinely really like it, you know. And what you're saying about traditional beers getting pushed out by the big chains,
yeah.
I actually grew up in Wrexham.
Right.
So I'm fully aware of that, because there's a great Wrexham lager factory that was there. My school was in the wind path of that factory.
The smell,
The
the
smell.
biscuity smell of the malt.
We're out on our break times, and all you'd smell is this really fickle kind of smell. And that got taken over by Carlsberg,
Yes.
and then eventually closed down. But there was a pub there, and there's a small brewery. They're still making Wrexham lager,
Indeed.
and it's still quite a proud thing. So when you're saying that there are Welsh suppliers here today, that's brilliant. Love it. Yeah.
We've got in Shropshire as a county, we have currently 17 breweries. It wobbles up and down a bit, but currently we've got 17 from the large regional producers like the Salopian Brewery at Hadwell. To very small local breweries like St Anne's at Lea Cross, which is in another chapel actually. The brewery is inside the chapel. And the smallest brewery we've got is actually called Chapel Brewery, although it's not in a chapel. It's in Criftons, in some farm buildings at the back of the guy's house. And he can only brew 2 casks of beer at any one time, so he runs about 3 times a week. He brews a cask of beer, and that's Ken King from Chapel Brewery, a great guy. And he's another guy who did a window beer for us for the Restoration Fund.
Let's explain window beer. I'm just drinking window, not widow. And it all makes sense now after what you've just been telling me. So what are you doing with the window beers then?
Right. After we'd agreed to come here and we'd arranged everything with the Churches Conservation Trust that run this building, some lowlife broke in through the window, caused £10,000 worth of damage to a 15th century stained glass window in order to nick £40 out of the collection box. And we thought, well, we love this building so much, we're going to do something about that. So 3 of our local brewers have joined us. Stonehouse, our main sponsor, Ken King at Chapel Brewery, and Chris Jones from St Anne's Brewery. Those 3 have brewed special beers which we're selling in aid of the Restoration Fund. So all the money from the sales of those 3 will go to the Restoration Fund.
I mean, what a fantastic thing to do. I mean, like this, it absolutely echoes a lot of what goes on in Shrewsbury. People are passionate about their history and about the buildings around us, and to do something like that's really nice. And as well to also opposite what that low life did, because obviously no respect, broke in for, like I said, for £40, actually £14,000, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I really hope you get. Any idea of how much you've made yet, or?
Not yet. We're only halfway through the festival. In a normal year, we would make a surplus overall of about £4,000 or £5,000, and that pays for our campaigning during the year. For the window fund specifically, it's £3 a pint, and there's 210 pints in the 3 barrels, so we're hoping to make about £750, because some people are paying more than the £3 a pint for it because they want to contribute to the window fund as well.
Salopian pride, that's what they have. It's great. So apart from the window fund, what's going on here today then? It's absolutely rammed. I just walked in here, there's that, because we're in St Mary's, it's a huge building, right?
It is.
And it's full. It's absolutely full.
Well, it's not absolutely full. We've got about 500 people in at we've got about 350 people in at the moment. The fire limit is 500. So there's plenty of room yet. We've got 200 seating, which is something we've not had in any of our other areas, so that's great. People have been really appreciative of that. But there's still enough space in the main area for folk to circulate, to congregate, to chat. That's why we don't have any music other than there was a guy playing the piano earlier on, who actually isn't anything to do with us. He just walked in, it was a really good pianist, walked in, sat down. He's been doing it all week, playing music. We've been giving him beer in return. So,
Gary, we've told you before, stop playing random people's pianos. I think we started talking to each other later on last year.
Yeah.
It was when I was just getting the biscuit up and going. I kind of no idea what I was doing. I was running around like a headless chicken. I mean, it gets like that sometimes. I mean, we were supposed to do this yesterday, and I had a run-out family emergency, you know. But I just wanted to say I would absolutely love to get a local brewery to sponsor one of my shows, because even if they just give me a couple of beers a month, that would be great. Just because I'm a big fan of trying different beers, and you know what, like a lot of shows that I do, I like to encourage that it's a good time. Sit down with your mates, have a few beers and chat, and they're where the best conversations happen, you know.
And the best conversations happen in the pub.
Exactly, yeah.
And not necessarily only with your mates, because you start chatting to your mates and somebody else picks up the conversation and gets involved, and you end up with a wonderful night with some of it with strangers who become your new friends, and that's the joy of pub.
I have definitely made some great friends in the pub. I'm one of these guys I can walk. I remember once, right, we were in Ironbridge, went out with it was when I was younger, and we went out on I think it was a Sunday night, and they didn't run by the same sort of rules as like the rest of Telford did, and it was dead. Everywhere was closed, and we ended up in the Colebrookdale Inn, which is a proper Domino's old man bar. We left, and I knew every person's name before I left. I love them kind of places. So
to be fair, Shrewsbury the pubs in Shrewsbury I find incredibly friendly places. You can tell by my accent I'm not native to here, and I arrived in 2004. My first week I went into the Three Fishes actually to meet with a guy who I was taking over from in my job. Was half an hour early and had 6 people who talked to me before he turned up. Half an hour later, so they're very, very friendly places. You get some great crack going on.
And it rubs off on you, doesn't it? I mean, I remember a few months ago I was doing like some pop shop things with the microphone in town, and I was talking to people about where they go for Christmas presents, things like that. And this guy was like, "I'm sorry, man, I'm from Canada," and he started talking to me about how much he loves Shrewsbury, the people that he's met, and he was just chatting, and I was thinking, wow, he's really, really loves Shrewsbury. It rubs off on people, and it did with me as well. I think that's why I do what I do. So this is a huge event. How much planning and preparations had to go into this prior?
We start our meetings in September for the following July. We have a couple of months off, and then we'll start all over again. We'll pick not a theme for the beers, but we'll look at which areas we think we'll be able to get beers from. This year, a lot of the beers, as well as the Welsh ones, are coming from Bristol, and that's partly because our beer ordering partner, Matt Davis from Real Ale Direct, who also does a subscription beer service, by the way, so you can speak to him.
She does say, that Biscuit guy's all right, man. He's after a sponsor.
yeah. But he's run a little keg bar here as well, Key Keg Bar. But there, he goes down to Bristol on a regular basis, and he found there's a lot of new beers and even some new breweries down there, so that was really good. So we work on that through over the winter, basically. It's been more work this year because we've had a new venue to sort out. And then we have, as I guess all event planners have, we have 10 weeks of total panic in the run-up to the actual event. But we have a great time to it. We meet in the Arborough Benbow on the second Tuesday of the month. So if anybody wants to come and volunteer and work with us, they're welcome to come and join us. We start at 7 in the back room, and we have a great time. We have a couple of pints during the meeting, and then we're going to have a couple of pints more, and then since it's...
I'll have to pop in sometime.
You would be more than welcome.
Yeah.
Because everybody's welcome to every CAMRA meeting.
It's fantastic. I love that. And like I said, I'm a big fan of what goes on in Shrewsbury, and you guys are, you're kind of illustrating that. Apart from this, do you guys take part in any other sort of events that go on through Shrewsbury? It's a festival town, man. There's lots going on. Do you guys show your heads in places?
Yeah, well, a lot of our members work with individual breweries, but as a branch and as events, as opposed to social events, we tend to be at Oktoberfest, Beth Heath's Oktoberfest.
I love Oktoberfest, it's great.
Sorry, excuse me.
Sorry?
we have a membership stall. Beth lets us have a space free for a membership stall, and we work the odds and sods bar, the catch-up bar, festival bar for that. We do 2 beer festivals a year at the Prince of Wales in Binner Street. So they have one in February and one in November and one in.
Is that the one in Bellevue?
Yes, yeah.
That's right, by my house. Next time you go there, drop me a text and say, Alex, we're going to be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I guess that's going to be my local from now on. I don't really get out to the pub much, but if I was going to choose a pub, it'd definitely be that one, because it's just around the corner from me.
Well, it's been our branch, so the whole of West Shropshire, it's been the pub of the year for that branch 4 times in the last 5 years. So
yeah, it's got a good reflection. So what this is on till Saturday. I know this is going to go out Monday, but this is out for one more night. What are your expectations for? Are you doing like a big finale? Just going to carry on serving the beer?
We'll keep serving the beer up until 9 o'clock on the Saturday night. We've finished a bit early, partly because the number of beers we can't replace a beer once it's empty. It's empty. And so we don't want people turning up and finding there's only a mere 40 or 50 beers left.
Be like Johnny Depp, where's the beer gone?
Yeah. Yeah. So we finish there, but also because we then have to pack up and get out. So we'll take all the pumps off the bar on the Saturday night, we'll dismantle the bars themselves, but the beers will still be up on the metal framework and stillage that they're on.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, yeah. And I think he's not here just now, but Robert Milton, who's the church's Conservation Trust representative who runs this church, and all the volunteers who help out at the church, I think he was a bit shell-shocked at the amount of stuff that we brought in, I mean, he kept a smile on his face. I'll give him that all the way through. He's had a smile on his face, but it's a bit of a surprise to see how much and how many people come into the building.
You're paying it forward with the window as well, aren't you? You're bringing something to the church.
Yeah, well, and we're paying to hire the building as well. So yeah, we're putting a bit forward for the community too. And as I say, I hope we started by saying that folk are in the church for the first time, and we hope that some of those people will actually say, well, I'll help out at this church. At this historic building in the centre of Shrewsbury, I want to help out. It's not as though it's a religious duty to do it. It's a historic building, much loved by tourists. We've let tourists in all the way through the week. So, I mean, somebody could come down tomorrow and get a band that will allow them to come in, not allow them to drink, and they can come in and have a wander round and then go back out. Yeah. And if we're back here next year, we'll continue that process because it's been good for us and good for the church.
So they can still get to see this beautiful building. It's a building that you can imagine being used in a medieval themed movie. It just looks unchanged. What's the feedback been like then? I mean, you said we've got like 300 odd people in here now. It's been like this all week.
Yes, well, Wednesday night was members only, so that was a bit lower. That was about 200 members and members of the licensed trade who had come along as well. And then yesterday, I think our high point was 373 people, but that included Martin Ward and 23 ukulele players who were here for a tour of the church.
I've seen those guys. They were great. They were on the Salopian not long ago. Not the Salopian, the Sabrina, sorry. Yeah, I did see them. And I remember one time actually for the light switch, I walked into the market hall and they were just playing across the whole market. They're brilliant. Really, really good. Well, look, well done for this because it's great. And I love that you're bringing people together. It seems like a really responsible thing. Like there's no lager louts jumping around or anything like that. It's great. Yeah. Shows that you can drink responsibly. The cop has killed me on the way up here. It's so hot. And people are just having fun, sitting around tables, eating food, drinking beer, and having a good time. And thank you for inviting me as well.
You're more than welcome. All our events, welcome.
Yeah, I will try to because I know me and Shane, we like a good beer now and again. With our other show, it's pretty much just a chat down the pub. That's what we do. I think this weekend we're drinking Agua Diente from Colombia. It's a
spirit you drink. You get drunk, and apparently the next day you're sober. No hangover, nothing.
Hangover.
It's great. So we're going to be drinking that tomorrow.
That sounds like a myth to me.
Oh no, I've drank it a few times.
Feed back to me on how that one goes.
We were talking about different cultures and things like that. See, my wife is from Colombia, and we every 18 months or so we'll go there, and it's just a completely different culture. There's no like going to the bar and buying a pint. You buy a bottle for the table, and you'll enjoy it. And most of the times it's aguardiente. It's brilliant. When I come to one of your meetings, I'll bring a bottle.
Okay. So
Well, good luck with the rest of the festival.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for coming on the show.
okay, thank you very much.
I think we can definitely do something a bit quieter next time. We can come around my house, we can have a beer, and we do a proper interview.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thanks. How's it going? So we're still at CAMRA Beer Festival. I'm chatting to Jerry.
Jerry Whittingham,
Jerry. And we were just talking about how great it is to have this beer festival in such a historic, beautiful building, right?
I mean, this is almost heaven. It's not West Virginia, but it's almost heaven for me because my favourite beer festival in my favourite building in my favourite town. So absolutely fantastic. And it's a great use of the building, I think. Everyone's been very respectful. And of course, it's raising a lot of money for the Historic Churches Trust that looks after this building.
Yeah, they were talking about a lot of the ales here are going to hopefully help to fund the reconstruction of the window that was broken.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the biggest contribution is just the fact that they paid for the venue, and that's going to, I think, the biggest single source of income for the church this year. But they also have some special ales called, the window ales for one of the stained glass windows that was sadly broken in a robbery recently, and all the profits from that go to restoring that window.
Really, really good. So I see you've got a number of wristbands on your wrist. How many days have you been here?
Well, there have been 3 days that it's been open so far, and I've only made it for the 3 days.
I like that. You've been enjoying it, yeah?
Yeah, I have. I mean, and the great thing is that people don't overindulge. They don't even have pint glasses at the festival. So the whole thing is about variety, quality,
tasting,
tasting, not necessarily amounts. I mean, most of what I've been drinking has been in thirds, So
I've been drinking Little Rebel. This is what I'm drinking right now.
That's a good one, Nipa. Yeah.
It's 13%, and I was like, I wanted to come here, have a few light drinks, and not make a fool of myself.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking 13% beer. It's not a good idea.
No, that's. I'm trying to remember what style of beer. That's the barley wine, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's a barley wine if it's up at 13%. Yeah.
I was just chatting with Norrie, and I was just saying...
Norrie's a great guy.
He's a great guy. And I was just saying, I'm a big fan of, just different beers,
Yeah.
My best friend is in Vermont.
Yeah.
It's in New England, and they've got,
I go to the States a lot. It's a great part of the world.
Yeah, so they got so many different, the revolutionary beers from over there. I like just trying different things, and this Little Rebel would definitely kick my... I'm so glad they sell it in thirds, because it would lay me out.
No, I mean, the States has come on in leaps and bounds. I've always had to go to the States a lot because of my job and stuff like that. And when I first went out in the sort of mid-'80s, fresh from Shropshire, it really was the beer desert of, laws, basically Michelob or Budweiser.
Bud Light, man.
Yeah, the wrong sort of Budweiser, not the good stuff. Nowadays, I mean, from about 1990, the whole craft beer thing took off. Now it's one of the great beer countries of the world. The US is one of the great, as is England.
Yeah. We a common joke I have is so a guy with a show that I work on quite regularly was drinking a glass of Stella Artois, and he was like, "I'm drinking classy beer," and I was like, "You know nothing."
The cheapest beer in Belgium. I'm short of money. What will I drink? Okay, I just have the Stella Artois then.
Well, beer culture is great, isn't it? You don't understand it, and that's why I love some of the old-fashioned. I mean, I feel bad going. I drink Old Speckled Hen, but it's a great tasting beer.
Yeah, it's good beer.
Or
A lot of history
Bishop's
behind
Finger.
that as well. Yeah. Old Speckled Hen, Abingdon, the sports car it's named after. Where when I first left Shropshire and I was actually living around Oxford and Abingdon, I used to drink a lot of Old Speckled Hen. It's a great beer.
Yeah, I love people that source things especially locally. The Salopian selection over here is great. A big shout out to Ed Crane, by the way, who. I mentioned mead a while back on a show, and he was like, "I'll give you some mead," and he brought me some Shrewsbury mead,
locally sourced mead, and I was in my element.
Well, in the nicest sense, I'm really envious because I've tried some great Shropshire beer, some great Shropshire cider, and some great Shropshire wine. But I'm up for the mead when I get a chance.
So, what are your plans here? Are you going to stay here for the next 2 days?
Oh, well...
tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow, that's right, yeah. So there's a fourth day, and I might only make the 4 days. But yeah, so what can you do? But yeah, that is my plan.
It's such a shame you can only make 4 days out of 4.
I know, but what
Such
can
a
you
slacker,
do?
such a slacker.
You've got to think about family and career, haven't you? You've got to have a balanced portfolio. But yeah, I shall come for a couple of hours and try a few. And I think we should give a great shout out for all the volunteers and all the people who put work into this festival. I'm just a regular, Joe Soap camera member, but the guys who put the work, guys of both genders who put the work into this, fantastic.
Brilliant job, it really is. I've just been speaking to a couple of vendors now that are really just awestruck in like the power of the amount of people it's brought in. And it's not just about like the people that come through the door, it's about the other vendors and pubs, speaking to pubs, and it's all about communication,
Absolutely. And tonight, I mean, obviously, I suppose unsurprisingly, but tonight, Friday night, is the busiest session so far. But always good humour, always good humour. I think people who've never been to beer festivals, I chat to them, I suddenly realise they have quite a misleading kind of idea of what they're like, and they're basically full of people getting, drunk and disorderly. Absolutely the opposite of that, Obviously a fair amount of ale is drunk, but generally, good humoured, well behaved.
Well, that's what I just said. I did a Facebook Live, and I was like, you'd think like 300 people sat in a church drinking beer would just be a recipe for mayhem.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's
Not
such a good atmosphere.
Not at all. Yeah, brilliant.
Right, okay, one last thing before we go.
Yep.
I've just had that little Rebel.
Yep.
I need something light now to drink. What would you recommend?
Oh, Salopian Gold is always a safe bet.
Salopian Gold?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, I'm going to go get that then.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Jerry.
Bye-bye.
Nice one, thanks.
Speak to you again, bye.
Well, there you have it, guys. That's this week's episode of The Biscuit. I appreciate it's a bit of a mishmash of an episode, but I haven't had an awful lot of time to have a play with it, to be honest. The Biscuit is a passion project for me, but family is more important. So me scooting off to Ireland was the most important thing. So I hope you enjoy that, and I hope you check out the Flower Show, which is on the 9th and 10th of August. We're going to be there, especially all day on the Friday. I'm going to be there walking around, and come say hello. I'm not just going to shove a microphone in your face just because you said hello to me. If you want to just say hello and give us some support, you'll be able to see me because I'm wearing a big T-shirt with the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast all over it. And, I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. I'm not going to blabber on too long. This has been quite a long episode. I hope you guys, life, hey, peace out, guys.